Welcome, everyone, to the L7C Podcast Wrestling Edition. We have our wrestling expert, Jacob Mason, with us. How are you doing today, sir?
I'm fantastic, sir. How you doing this evening?
I am doing great. We have a lot to talk about today. We got Survivor Series. We got the Undertaker's farewell. We got a superstar that we hinted about 2 weeks ago getting the boot because of opening up an OnlyFans. We got some AEW, New Japan Pro Wrestling. We got a whole bunch of things we're going to get into. So we're just going to dive right in. And first thing we're going to do is recap Survivor Series. It just went down this Sunday. There is a lot of matches. So we're going to hit on some matches and the important parts of those matches. So Jacob, I'll let you pick first. What match do you want to hit on first?
I don't know about you, but I could care less about like the Battle Royal. So I say we just kick this off with the Survivor Series match, which is what really kicked off Survivor Series.
Right, yeah, the men's 5-on-5 kicked off Survivor Series. You had the captain AJ Styles of Raw and the captain Jey Uso of SmackDown. And this match, I was actually kind of shocked because Raw swept them. It actually started off with Seth Rollins getting sacrificing himself for the bro kick. What do you think of that? Because I actually saw some things that I want to talk to you about with that initial start.
I was confused about it. I mean, I didn't really understand it. I figured it was something with his cult or whatever. I was like, oh, okay, that's happening. Like, all right, fair enough. Nothing in that match really kind of went the way I thought it would, except Team Raw winning.
Yeah. With the Seth Rollins thing, which is actually we're already going to get into the juicy stuff right now. I've seen reports that the reason Seth Rollins did that, if you remember a couple of weeks ago or a month ago, we talked about a little bit how Seth Rollins said he'll never work a match with Matt Riddle. So I read that was the compromise of being in a match with Riddle and knocking him out early so he didn't have to work with him. Because if you remember, Matt Riddle's wife said some things about Becky a couple months ago.
I do not even remember any of that.
Yeah. And that was actually just on, I think it was Time Hop. It was a 1-year anniversary of Matt Riddle's wife talking trash about all the girls in WWE saying they need to squat more.
Oh, wait, I do remember this now.
Yeah, so that's apparently what a lot of people are saying, that Seth didn't want to be in the match across from Matt, so he took himself out.
If that's the case, it's like pretty shitty, actually, in my opinion. Like, you can't even like do the job. Like, you can't even work with the guy. Like, I can completely understand like not liking, working with or disliking someone you work with. I get that, but like you got to do the job. Like, you're making millions of dollars. Like, hey, you pay me $1 million, I'll deal with anybody for 20 minutes at a time. Sign me up.
Right. I know. I agree. It's just, you know how wrestling is. Wrestling is a whole different beast, and there was really nothing in this match that was like eye-glaring besides that. I think the most eye-glaring thing is when Team SmackDown lost and Jey Uso got called to the principal's office by the tribal chief, and he got an earful from Roman, and his brother basically got kicked out of the arena because Roman said so.
Yeah, I kind of thought Jey would do more. Yeah. I was kind of shocked because I was like, watch, like Jey will end up, just taking out a few people and something will happen at the end. But like, I was shocked. Clean sweep. Didn't see that one coming.
Yeah, Keith Lee got hit Jey with the spirit bomb but there's really nothing into that. Let's go to the next match real quick. There was a United States Championship match. Well, United States Champion Bobby Lashley versus Intercontinental Champ Sami Zayn. This one was pretty quick and to the point. Bobby just basically put him down nice, quick, and early. Was there anything in this match that you saw that interested you?
No, I thought it was terrible.
I did think this was the worst match on the card. I thought this was the worst match on the card.
Easily the worst match, which kind of pissed me off because I love the mid card stuff, and this is your opportunity to shine. And man, like they just really just crapped all over it. It's terrible. Especially Sami Zayn. I know he can wrestle.
Oh yeah.
He's such a good wrestler, and it's like, come on, like I hate what they're doing, but whatever. It was a terrible match.
Yeah, there's really nothing on that. So we're just gonna move on to the next some other better matches. The tag teams, New Day versus the Street Profits. I personally thought that was a very entertaining match. Street Profits actually came out with the dub, which I was shocked, but New Day does business. What did you see in that match? Did you like the match? I thought it was entertaining. I thought all four of those guys did the best they could and put on a pretty good normal match.
I thought that was the best match of the night.
Really?
Okay. Yep. I think that was the most entertaining, best match on Survivor Series.
Okay. Were you shocked by the finish? Did you have Street Profits winning or New Day?
No, I figured I had New Day going over.
Okay.
But I mean, it was one of those matches where they're both so good. I'll take either or. You can't go wrong with either way.
Right.
If Street Profits go over like they did, hey, they get the rub from New Day. If New Day wins, hey, New Day deserves to win. You can't go wrong either way.
Right. I agree. Next we had the women's championship match. We've seen this. I mean, everyone expected this match to be good. I didn't think it wasn't going to be bad because you had Asuka versus Sasha Banks. If you do remember, these two have been going at it a lot this year. And Sasha came out actually on top. She beat her by pinfall, which I was shocked because I was just talking about it before the match, thinking I was like, is Charlotte Flair the only person who's pinned Asuka? Like, but then Sasha, well, on the main roster, then Sasha pinned her. So what did you think of them going at it for, I think, probably the 6th, 7th time this year? I don't think it was their greatest match, but I don't think it was their worst match.
No, it wasn't a terrible match. It was just a match.
Mm-hmm.
I did have Sasha going over in the initial picks because it was not a title defense.
Yeah.
So we're going over like, okay, yeah, it's fine, whatever.
Funny.
They'll build her up and then have her lose, at the next title defense, whatever that'll be, against whoever.
So
yeah, it's just a match to me.
Right.
It wasn't the best, but it wasn't bad. Just a match.
Right. So I'm actually going to talk about the main event now and save the women's Survivor Series match until after we talk about the main event, since that's the brand for us, because you know who we have to talk about when we get to the women. So we're going to talk about Roman and Drew, which was the main event of Survivor Series. And I personally think they crafted that match really well. I personally thought Drew was going to lose on one spear. And when he kicked out at 2, there were some good spots. They gave that wrestling hope that Drew, I thought, was right for a split second. Oh, he's going to win, until I realized who he was wrestling against. Jey Uso comes out, super kicks to help Roman. Roman hits Drew with the low blow. All this happened because Drew hit Roman with the Claymore, and the ref went out. So they protected Drew. They protected Roman. They went back and forth, the two top champions. Roman was talking a lot of stuff. He even told Samoa Joe on the side, "You've seen this shit before." And I was like, wait, did Roman just say shit? And I was like, wow. And even the build-up and Roman kept calling Drew number 2. He called him the right guy at the wrong time. He's just a number 2 champion. What did you think of this match? Because I really enjoyed this.
It was a really, really good match. I mean, it started off really slow. Those first 10 minutes were just kind of like, okay, like it's going to be one of these type deals. But man, they built it up, and it was good. It was really good. I mean, I was pulling for Drew. I wanted Drew to win. Of course, I didn't think he would win because he's facing Roman. But I did like how they finished it. I thought that was super good. Everyone wins on that match. Even though Roman has the W, everyone wins. The fans, Drew and Roman, everybody wins. Everybody's happy.
Agreed. Even before the match, when Roman was in the back talking to Jay and Jimmy Uso, like, we've talked about this for years. This is the character Roman should have been playing since the Shield broke up. From the beginning. They wasted years with, was he the one who said suffer and succotash or whatever it was?
Oh, you bet your ass he was the one who said that.
And that just killed him. Obviously, the 2015 Royal Rumble was the worst Royal Rumble I think I've seen in my life. And now they finally, it just took COVID, him having cancer and coming back, and all these things to finally have the character Roman Reigns should have been playing all of these years. The Tribal Chief, as much as I don't like it, it's on fire.
Oh, yeah. It's everybody's falling in line.
Yeah, I'm waiting for Dwayne to come and set that straight, since we said that a month ago. That's going to be the main event if they can have fans. I'm almost at a point too where I personally wouldn't have an issue if Drew dropped the title to like The Fiend and then went to go challenge Roman for the Universal title at WrestleMania. I'm at that point after watching that match. Because I feel like there's some...
I'd be okay with that.
Yeah, if they can't get Rock because of whatever reasons, I feel like Roman and Drew have some unfinished business, and they can build off the Survivor Series match and maybe start at the Rumble, and he can say, you only beat me because of your family and this and that. But we're going to have to go from there. But for the L7C podcast, the real main event, the 5-on-5 women's match, we had Team Raw, Nia Jax, Shayna Baszler, Lana, replacements Peyton Royce and Lacey Evans because Nia Jax legitimately hurt Mandy Rose, so she was unable to compete. Yep, no shocker. Another person Nia Jax legitimately hurt. And Dana Brooke couldn't be in the match because her partner's not there, so they had her beat up by Retribution to get her out of the match, so we have replacements. Team SmackDown, we had Bayley, Bianca Belair, Natalya, and the Riot Squad. And I have my notes that I wrote down were when Peyton pinned Bayley. Peyton showed me a lot. I think that's the most I've actually watched her wrestle, and that was probably her best wrestling I've ever seen. But Peyton showed me a lot in her wrestling in this match. Another person who impressed me, well, actually, the Riot Squad impressed me with them trying to do the on Nia Jax. That impressed me a lot. Obviously, Bianca Belair is a star in the making, if not a star already. Her athletic ability, I personally think she should win the Rumble next year. And obviously, Nia Jax, I don't know if you were watching it, but she no-sold so much. It was irritating the hell out of me. Before we get to who won and how they won, what did any particular women stand out to you during that match?
I would say the three that really stood out to me was Bianca Belair, of course, and then the Riot Squad. They killed it. Before the match started, I was picking Team SmackDown to go over. And don't get me wrong, I am more than happy with the way they finished this match. So happy with it. But that being said, you're absolutely right. Nia Jax sold the shit out of everything.
Moving like that was bad. I don't know if she was just trying to show this indestructible monster, but just seeing her no sell so much and just thinking about how she hurt Mandy Rose, I just couldn't deal. But let's talk about this finish. During the match, also Lana, let's talk about her. She got in the match, she did some moves, they tagged her out, and they told Lana to stand on the steel steps like a dog and not interfere with anything. And SmackDown got to a point when it was only Bianca Belair against basically the tag team champs, Shayna and Nia, and then Lana was sitting back there. And Bianca Belair was fighting back. There was a cool spot, which I really enjoyed, where Bianca bounced off the ropes and Shayna caught her midair into her submission move. I really liked that spot. That was some great athleticism by both of them. But then Shayna got DQ'd. You're thinking Bianca Belair is going to do it. She's going at it with Nia Jax outside of the ring. And then they both get counted out. And the sole survivor for Team Raw, the winners, was Lana. Jacob, you hinted that Lana was going to be the sole survivor after 2 months of being put through a table. When you saw how she was the sole survivor, did that please you? Like, what were you thinking?
Honestly, my first thought seeing Lana sole survivor was I cannot wait to do a podcast. I was so excited. I'm like, I wish we were doing like a live podcast at that time because it would have been hilarious. I was happy because I'm a little bit of an asshole here. I knew it was going to piss you off, so I'm like, screw it. Like, let's get Lana to win this. And of course she did, so it's hilarious to me. And Lana's going through a lot of stuff, and we were talking about this texting 2 weeks ago. My bold prediction by SummerSlam of next year, Lana's going to hold a title. They're pushing her so much. She is on TV constantly. It might be the most bullshit run ever. She's going to end up with a title.
When
you watch.
Lana was declared the sole survivor, I literally had to take off my glasses and wipe them to see if I was dreaming. And I was not. I stood there in utter disbelief that she really was the sole survivor because she was a crying, obedient dog. She didn't move from her spot, and that's how she was the sole survivor. I personally thought coming into the match, she was going to get to a point where she turned on Nia and Shayna, and then she ripped off like her shirt and had a Team SmackDown shirt underneath, but she didn't have a shirt, so you couldn't do that. And she didn't go through a table, which I was happy for her because I saw snippets of her WWE special, and I think it was her father is getting sick and tired of seeing his daughter get put through tables. So if your dad's even getting tired of it, everyone else is. And her being the sole survivor, your idea of her being champ at SummerSlam might happen. I don't think it's going to be Asuka because that's just unbelievable. I think they need to get it off Asuka and go to someone else for that to happen. I know for damn sure Lana is not winning the Royal Rumble, so that's not happening. So she's not getting that shot. But when she finally fights back against Shayna and Nia and gets a pin on one of them, then I'm going to be on your train because there's no way she's dealing with this mental health and bullying that she's talked about. And if she ends up champion, she could be that babyface champion that overcame bullying and mental health. But I was just sick. I was just like, this is ridiculous. She really was the number. She really won because she just sat there. And I said, wow, that is, for 2 months, that's your reward. Standing there crying, and then you get to be the sole survivor. And Mirio said husband to the sole survivor on Twitter. So, the women, it was good to see. Well, I mean, Bayley's obviously a frequent face, but it was good to see some of the other women finally get some decent shine. So hopefully they propel them going forward for challengers for Asuka and Sasha. Because me personally, when it was Nia, Shayna, and Bianca Belair, I personally thought that's 3 out of the 4 final 4 for the Royal Rumble. And then Miss Flair as the 4th, because time's ticking for those ladies, because when she comes back, it's over.
Oh yeah, whatever brand she's going to end up on. Well, is she on Raw?
She's on Raw.
Or is she on SmackDown? Feeling her out, yeah. Yeah, it's not even a question. She's going to go in there and just run the house.
Taking for these ladies to show the world, because once that woo happens, it's over. That title's going back to her. I think she would do business for your thing, for Lana. I think she would do it, but she would just get it back, and then just to bolster her number, she'd be like at 14 or whatever by the end of 2021.
Oh yeah. She would do the job, and Lana would totally be champ. It would be for a week.
Absolutely.
Maximum. But Lana will be champion. Heard it here first. I haven't
said anything positive about her, but Lana, as we end this, good job. You were the sole survivor. You get a break this time. I'm sure in 2 weeks, I'll be right back on your butt with something you did stupid. So for 2 weeks, you're good on the L7C podcast. But let's move on from her and talk about The Undertaker, his final farewell, 30 years to the day. We had a whole bunch of legends come out. I think my favorite legend that came out was Mayor Glenn Jacobs, as we know him as Kane, that he came out in his full Kane gimmick, and I was joking, saying, man, I hope no one sends him any emergency orders. He's working at WWE right now. But there's a whole bunch of people, Ric Flair, Triple H, Kevin Nash, The Godfather, JBL, and they all came out, and then Vince came, introduced The Undertaker. Undertaker gave his spiel and walked out. With the legends who were there, Jacob, did you think anyone else? There's a couple of names I thought should have been there, but are there any names of people you thought should have been out there?
Well, let me think here. I mean, they had Kane. I mean, that's the biggest one, I'd say. I was confused on why, Kevin Nash was there. And, I could even partially understand, Shawn Michaels and Triple H. I mean, the last tag match that the Taker had was against them in Saudi Arabia.
He had four straight WrestleMania matches with them. Obviously, 25, 26, 27, 28. So,
yeah, it's true. I don't know. I see Triple H and Shawn Michaels at the same time. I automatically think DX. For some reason. I'm trying to think. I think the straight JBL. I mean,
2004. Remember Undertaker limo? That was one of my favorite moments growing up.
It was kind of cool actually seeing the Godwins.
I was
like, okay, we haven't seen them since the 90s. Who was missing?
Me personally, if they were basing it off of rivalries or whatnot, there was 4. I'll just start. Well, obviously he had the rivalry on SmackDown with Edge, but Edge I don't think could have came back because they need to save that for when he attacks Randy Orton and they have their trilogy at WrestleMania. Obviously, the big rivalry from WrestleMania 23 on with Batista, but Batista talked in the video, so that was fine. Obviously, he had the big rivalry also with Randy Orton, but Randy Orton was off, which is fine. But me personally, I thought Brock Lesnar should have been there. How do you not have the guy who broke the streak?
Yeah, that's a really good point, because that could have been a moment. Well, I guess something that's kind of weird, though, is because everyone who was there, they came out. I mean, it took 10 minutes to get everyone out there. And then they went to break, and they came back, and they're not there. That was kind of strange.
Me personally, I would have had Brock Lesnar out there. The dude broke the streak. You've been wrestling. This has been your one rivalry that you technically have never won, but you've done so much for Brock Lesnar that you've put him over all the time. And I felt like he should have been there. Obviously, Paul Heyman, but Paul Heyman was with Roman Reigns, so that wouldn't have made that much sense. But those were things like that. I don't understand why Shane McMahon was there. I was like, they had one match, really. Come on. And I was just trying to think. I thought his wife and daughter should have been there, but they were actually in the crowd. So that was cool. I even thought Teddy Long should be on there because, he's a meme with the just for that. You're going one-on-one with the Undertaker player. I even thought he should have been out there, but I just wanted Brock. It would have made perfect sense for him. But unless he's coming back on a spectacular return, that would make perfect sense. So with Undertaker, 30 years, let's just ask the question. Do you actually think he's done?
Yeah.
No
Yeah, I think
match
he's
coming
done.
back. No Vince calls him on emergency. He's going to stick to his guns like Sean did until that terrible Saudi Arabia thing and be done.
Yeah, I think he's done. I think the strangest thing, like besides Taker officially being done, is seeing Taker do all
Yes.
the media
Yes.
that he's been doing. That is like just next level strange because Taker was Mr. Live and die by the it's still real to me, damn it. Like wrestling is he kept kayfabe alive. He was the one guy who never broke
on the last
kayfabe.
ride, he was talking about now he can finally cash in on his like name and stuff. And this is the most 2020 thing ever. When you have a Instagram live with Snoop Dogg and the Undertaker, that is the 2020 thing. For those who don't know, Snoop Dogg is Sasha Banks' cousin. Wrote the theme song, all that stuff. So he's big into wrestling. And he was asking him about WrestleMania 25 with Shawn Michaels. And then you see Undertaker on TikTok or doing cameo videos. And that's what makes me agree with you that he is done, because if he wasn't done, he wouldn't be doing this stuff. I also thought, well, any sane wrestler was thinking there's no way this goodbye is going to go off perfect. I was waiting for the Fiend's music to come out and mess him up. And when that didn't happen, I said, oh, he really might be done. Did you think he was coming out?
Yeah, me and Hannah sitting here, we were sitting there watching it, and I was like, God, I hope I hear like we're really glad that you're our friend, and this is a friendship that'll never ever end. I wanted to hear that so freaking bad. Oh, could you imagine like if they did that and the pop, if they had people in the crowd?
It would have been crazy. Like we were all.
If it would have been like his final send off would have been Mania, because Bray's Revenge Tour, which is always amazing, him taking on the Undertaker. Yep. Because I still think I don't think the streak should have ever ended. But if someone was going to end it, it should have been Bray Wyatt.
A couple of things I want to also add on the Undertaker thing. If it wasn't the Fiend, there was another person that one of my friends, I'll bring him up later, but my second pick, who I thought was going to interrupt it just to finally do it, I thought Sting was going to do it. I really did. If it wasn't going to be the Fiend, I thought Sting was going to come out. I was like, no, you're not leaving until we finally have this match. And then that's their last match.
Oh, God, no.
It would have been terrible, but it would have sold tickets.
Oh, absolutely. 100%. But I don't think those guys, I don't think they do it, period. But especially not being able to do it in front of a live crowd. But maybe 10 years ago, I would have been all about it. Now I'm just like, I don't want to watch those guys wrestle. Because, I mean, if you think to like watching Goldberg versus Taker, and Goldberg almost killed Taker, so I wouldn't want any part of that.
That was bad. The third one that one of my friends brought up is they brought up Finn Balor because of his alternate persona, the Demon. How fitting would that be if Undertaker, the Deadman, gets retired by the Demon at a WrestleMania?
It would be cool. I still would rather see the Fiend over the Demon.
Agreed. 30 years. What if you had one word to describe Undertaker, what would it be?
Ooh. Legendary.
That's a good one. It's hard with Undertaker to describe him in one word, but I think I'm going to go with constant. Throughout everything, the Monday Night Wars, he was a constant. He was a leader. I mean, as a little kid, even as an adult, when that dong went off and everything went black, it was an adrenaline rush. Anytime you're just randomly watching a pay-per-view or a Raw or SmackDown and you're not expecting Undertaker and he makes one of his crazy supernatural returns, you pop and mark off every time. So it was good. It was good to finally end it in this 30-year run. And whenever we decide to do our rankings for wrestlers of all time, I'm pretty sure that we'll have him high up on our list.
Oh, absolutely. 100%.
Well, let's talk about something more fun. Zelina Vega. 2 weeks ago, you guys, that Zelina Vega apparently started an OnlyFans account during the third-party ban, which is in effect, that you've heard us talk on multiple podcasts. While AJ and Paige are crying that they have to stop their Twitch, she made an OnlyFans. And we thought she wasn't long for this wrestling world. We were both right, and she got fired. A lot of people are pointing to the OnlyFans as the final straw of why she got fired. She also tweeted out right before she got fired that she supports union stuff, and then she got fired. Again, Jacob, what was Zelina Vega thinking opening an OnlyFans account?
Well, when she opened one up, I thought WWE was like backing it. I figured WWE was probably making a cut on it. And they were going to control all the content on her OnlyFans. That was kind of like my thought. Turns out that's not the case. And poor, I want to say like poor Zelina Vega, but at the same time, like, honey, what is you thinking right now? Because, oh my God. Like, you really just didn't like your company. Like, my God.
Yeah, that was the dumbest decision I've ever seen. And she's gone now. Her husband, Aleister Black's still there. Don't know how long he's going to be there now. But obviously she hasn't that been out of a shape about it because now she's back on Twitch. She has the typical 90-day compete thing. Does AEW even want someone like Zelina Vega?
Oh, I would say so. I would. One, because their women's roster is garbage. And two, she's got a name. And as Cody said in his one promo, I think it was last year, this is Ellis Island, two wrestlers. I think absolutely. I go for her 100%. She can wrestle.
Yeah. And then I think they'll potentially get them Aleister Black, which would be a big addition. But just her stupidity on that. That was a terrible decision. The first person we've really seen get fired over the third party ban. And you have to really think about her value in WWE. Lana's the reason this third party ban started, and she's still here. And Zelina got the boot. Like, she didn't even get a warning. They said, "No, you're out of here, girl." Like, damn.
I figure they were just like, hey, we have to make a statement with this one. We have to set the example.
Well, let's switch gears. You brought up Cody, so let's talk about his company, AEW. Jon Moxley's going against Kenny Omega. Jacob, why is this match? I think I saw it was going to be December 8th or something like that on a regular AEW Wednesday night. So, Jacob, try to explain to me and the listeners, why is this match a regular Wednesday night and not a pay-per-view? I even listened to the promos, and they're building it up like it's going to be huge, but it's on free TV. Why is that?
Because God bless AEW. So AEW is kind of like doing the same thing NXT is doing, where they're not necessarily having pay-per-views, but like how NXT did Halloween Havoc. It wasn't a pay-per-view. It was on a Wednesday and just drew the crowds, and they're just doing one big show. They're like end of the year show, almost like a thank you to the fans. Like, here's essentially a pay-per-view for free. So I'm good with it. I'll always take free because, you know, it's not, at least with WWE, it's $9.99. With their pay-per-views if you're not pirating it, because I don't know anyone that possibly pirates pay-per-views. That's just wrong. But yeah, it's what? I think it's 60 some bucks, I think, for a pay-per-view. Oh, terrible.
And I saw the initial promo that John Moxley, had for this, and he was talking about how this championship represents everyone that can't pay their bills, every little kid who gets made fun of being a pro wrestler, that's why he can't quit, how he's beaten Kenny Omega once and now beating him twice to be something special, but he is special. He's quoted saying he's the greatest pro wrestler on the planet right now. He creates magic in the ring. He creates magic if he wants. If anyone could beat Kenny Omega twice, it's him. He's just a man. Like he was very, very passionate in that promo, and then he has these other ones. What I know, still a week or so away. Who is going to go over in this?
Oh, it depends. It depends if you want to start. If you want to keep the same slate or start fresh, because I'm not saying that as in just swapping who could possibly hold the title, because could someone screw over Kenny? Could someone screw over John? Is it going to be a clean match? There's so many different ways you could go with this. It's almost kind of one of these things where it's almost like a blurred lines again of who is heel and who is face. Because to me, like when I think AEW, I'm like, oh, well, Kenny's got to be the face. But really, John Moxley's acting more of a face than Kenny is. Everything's just up in the air right now. I love it. But we also have, is it this, now correct me if I'm wrong, is Wargames that same date?
I do. Let me look that up, because I swore Wargames was on a weekend. Because typically that is a week. And
is it actually going to be a pay-per-view, or is it going to be a Wednesday pay-per-view?
Let's pull that up, because I'm really hoping. It's supposed to be taking place December 6th.
So that's a Sunday? What day is that?
It is.
Yeah, it's a Sunday.
Wow.
Well, that's good. I'll take that.
So we're gonna have.
I thought they were going to be going head to head again and trying to see who can pull in the most views on a pay-per-view Wednesday.
And that's gonna be a good wrestling week. Wargames Sunday and AEW pay-per-view Wednesday. Also at AEW, they're working on a video game. We didn't get to talk about
yes.
2 weeks. It's seeing them make a video. I mean, I'm going to buy it whenever it comes out, as long as it's on I don't have a PS5 or Xbox One. I got a PS4, so as long as it's on that, I'm there for it. So, what do you think about them? Like now, I think it makes them more mainstream having a video game. What do you think?
Oh, I love it. I am so excited. Plus, I have not been a fan of the 2K wrestling games since they came out. I'm still playing WWE 13.
Really?
Which was produced by Ukes, which is, or THQ, and developed by Ukes. And Ukes is working on the AEW game. So I'm very excited to see where that goes. Yeah, I don't like the 2K game, so I'm excited for a different wrestling game and mainstream wrestling game, because there's a lot of gamers. They're all about their Twitch streaming wrestlers, so it's got to be good.
Yeah, I mean, with the WWE 2K games, my favorite one was actually 14. That's when you had the beat the streak mode, which I thought was phenomenal. And obviously the last one I bought was 18. That was with Seth Rollins on the cover. And I mean, I just update the roster. I'm one of those people. The last one that came out with Becky and Roman was rushed, and it was so bad that they skipped a year. Because typically in October we get WWE 2K21, but 20 was so bad they skipped a year. So I'm hoping this AEW game is the first one. It does some things for us, and then we can go forward with that. But Jacob, what's going on in New Japan? What's going on over there?
So New Japan, it's been a crazy amount of stuff going on in New Japan. I'm just going to hit on the major thing. So last we talked, Kota Ibushi won the G1 and was going to face Naito for the heavyweight championship and the Intercontinental Championship. Well, Jay White challenged Kota Ibushi for the right to challenge Naito at Wrestle Kingdom, and Jay White won. So now Jay White is going to headline Wrestle Kingdom.
Wasn't someone in New Japan also coming at Jon Moxley too? Or did I miss? Wasn't
Say that
someone,
again?
I don't know what wrestler, Jon Moxley trying to get him to compete at New Japan as well?
Oh, Kenta. Also known as Hideo Itami for all the WWE fans. Yeah, because Moxley is still the United States champion over there in New Japan. So, and Kenta holds the right to challenge Moxley at Wrestle Kingdom. So he's just been talking smack the whole time, which is great. Kenta being able to do whatever Kenta wants is money. Sure. I mean, there's the World Tag League is happening right now, which is basically the G1 but for tag teams. So that's just everything's crazy right now. But here's what's happening right now. So Naito is still, because being super face, is going to face Kota Ibushi on the main event of the first night for the heavyweight championship and the Intercontinental Championship. The winner of that will face Jay White on Sunday.
When is Wrestle Kingdom?
It is like January early. It's like the first week of January. I believe first or second week. It's on, I say Sunday because I'm used to our pay-per-views. It's on like a Tuesday or something over there. So, yeah, I believe it's the first week. I'd have to double check the dates. But we'll have a whole listing. I figure before that, we'll have a whole breakdown of what Wrestle Kingdom's going to look like.
Definitely break that down as well. I want to talk about AEW, New Japan, like all those wrestling promotions working together. What would it take for WWE to get in that ring? Like, imagine having like a Jay White versus Jon Moxley versus Drew McIntyre triple threat in the Tokyo Dome.
It'll never happen.
Never? What about when Vince is gone?
I don't think it's going to happen, even after Vince is gone. Because as much as I love all these other companies, WWE is on the next level when it comes to popularity and fame and just notoriety. They're not going to come down to anybody else's level to do any business with them because everyone else is beneath them. And as much as I would love to see stuff like that happen, it'll never happen.
Fair.
Now you will see, like, because WWE, I don't know if they own Evolve or I don't know if they own Evolve.
It's on their WWE network now.
Yeah, like you'll see, wrestlers go over there and do stuff, but that's because it's basically the farm system for the farm system, and they have such a close relationship with them. And like I said, I think it's because they own them. But you'll never see that. You might see AEW in New Japan, but that would take a lot of work. Like, I would think AEW would have to get to a certain level where they want to be and be like, all right, you know what, screw it. Let's bring over Jay White, or let's bring over Guerrillas of Destiny, or let's bring over whoever. But I think it's going to be a long time before we see any cross brands besides Ring of Honor and New Japan.
I guess that gave me a slight hope. If you remember a couple years ago, Brock Lesnar was doing WWE and UFC at the same time. So I guess that was the only thing that gave me a slight hope. Like maybe if the money is right and stars align, they just do it one time only. But it was Brock Lesnar, and he literally does what he wants. So.
Yeah, I would love it. Believe me, I really would love it. I just don't think it's ever going to happen.
You brought up their marketing, and I just want to bring this up. It was an article I shared with you, like I think a week ago. It was about Cody Rhodes. Initially, he was talking about his relationship with like John Cena and things like that. But he brought up how WWE markets things wrong, how they'll put inactive superstars like The Undertaker and John Cena front and center on the promotional materials, but then ignore the full-time talent and then wonder why no full-time talent get over. And reading Cody's comments on that, I thought he was spot freaking on. What did you think?
Oh, I agree. I agree 100%. You can't build for the future without pushing your new stars.
Yeah.
The fact you're going, like, Cody also said in that article, like, bringing back, like, the older, guys. Like, we'll take Jake the Snake, for example. They bring him back. He adds, a talking factor. But other than that, his shine is on what's his name? Whoever's the guy that Jake the Snake always works with. I can't remember his name. Murder Hawk. I know that's his Twitter name. But just bring him back, but letting the actual talents shine. That's the way it should be. That's one of the things we always hated about WWE.
Mm-hmm. No, agreed. I always think that the age of the part-timers actually started in 2013 when The Rock beat CM Punk at the Royal Rumble for the WWE Championship and ended the 434-day reign. And The Rock was coming sporadically, like every 2 weeks or something like that, or he'd do something over video. But those images, I think it was G.I. Joe that was coming out. Those images of The Rock taking the title with him everywhere on the red carpet, I think that instantly stuck in Vince's mind about we're going to be doing this part-timer stuff because they're taking it to where they're going. That's me personally. I think that's where it started.
Yeah, I can see that. Yep.
But hey, right now, currently, we have all full-time champs in WWE, which is it's not a first, but it's been a very uncommon thing in the past 8 to 10 years.
For real. Yeah, it is super nice having the full-time guys come back and actually do something. Or I guess not the full-time guys coming back, but just the full-time guys being there doing stuff. We're not dealing with the Goldbergs. We're not dealing with the Brock Lesnars because that stuff sucks. And the one thing that was always kind of cool about it is people like me and you would be talking for like they're just part-time. They're not there. They're not putting in the work. And, whoever they would face, CM Punk, for example, facing The Rock, be like, you're not even here. You're not even doing anything. You're a part-time bitch, whatever he would say. And it was always good.
Yeah. Yeah. It's when you put those people like a Rock and a Goldberg and a Brock Lesnar, even I guess now John Cena, when you put those people against really good full-time people and you let them go and there's no restraints, it's magic. I mean, even with The Rock and Cena after Punk, when they're going into WrestleMania 28, their once-in-a-lifetime thing, which became twice in a lifetime, like there was real heat between both of them. And letting them just go creates that magic. But yeah, I am all for part-timers doing big stuff at Royal Rumble, like being a big number and getting a pop for the crowd, having a 9 p.m., 9:30-ish match at a WrestleMania or doing a spot. But I'm not really for part-timers being the champ and then not being on TV for 6 months and then only showing up at the big 4 pay-per-views. But 100%. Jacob, what else do you want to talk about, man? We're nearing the end. Any other big wrestling topics in your mind before this Thanksgiving holiday?
Oh, let me think. What else has been going on in the wrestling world? Pac is back. Pac is back. Death Triangle is back, and my world feels right again. I am so happy seeing Pac back with the Lucha Bros.
For those who don't know, Jacob, just tell people who Pac is. I think you told them last time.
So Pac is Neville from WWE. So for those who remember the guy who lost to Enzo Amore at WrestleMania, it's that guy. Except turns out he's a badass. Unlike when he lost to Enzo Amore at WrestleMania for the title, which may or may not have just made WWE lose his job. But that's whatever. Yeah, Death Triangle is back. That's big news. Side note, I'm gonna throw this out there. Did you like Enzo Amore?
No.
As a wrestler? Did you like him as an entertainer? Yes. Let me rephrase that. Okay. I can definitely accept that because as much as because Enzo gets shit on all the time, I'm going to go ahead and say Enzo was the most relevant cruiserweight champion that WWE has had since they reintroduced the title.
And I don't, because I'm going to get mad. I don't, as much as I disagreed, because I wrestling and all that stuff, it will still never sit right with me how he got fired, how it was off a accusation with no proof, and he got fired. But Matt Riddle has still been on the roster with all his accusations. He even admitted that he cheated on his wife, but didn't assault anyone. Velveteen Dream's accusation, he's still on the roster. So I guess they learned from them, but innocent until proven guilty. But that's a whole personal thing for me. But Enzo, one thing came out, he was gone the next day, and that looks like it doesn't even pan out to be true.
Yeah. What's great is he still walked around with the cruiserweight title. he never lost it.
Yeah, that's crazy. But no, Pac is back. That's Death Triangle. That's some good stuff. I think I have two things. One, since he alluded to it, congratulations to Dean Ambrose, Jon Moxley, and Renee Young on them expecting their first child together. He dropped that in a promo. Didn't know Dean Ambrose wanted to be a dad. So congratulations on that to them. The other former Shield members, Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch, had their pregnancy photos and all those, and those looked amazing. Looks like the baby's going to become Asu. So congrats to them as well. Shield people both becoming parents, since Roman already has like multiple kids and he's been dad. So there's one thing I actually do want to talk about because I just said his name, Roman. Roman left because of COVID, because of his conditioning. And then he came back out of nowhere. Literally, SummerSlam was telling us you'll never see it coming. We never saw Roman coming back. And then he won the title the next month. And at the current moment, COVID cases are going up. So what made you, there's no reporting on this. It's just me and you just shooting. What made you think, why do you think Roman is still here if COVID cases are going up and that's the reason he wasn't performing for half of 2020?
Ooh. You know, I bet Roman is probably coming into the arena later and or leaving earlier before everyone else. I don't know. I gotta imagine they're he's just taking like extra precautions. Like as soon as his match is over, he's gone out the door heading home. And I don't think he's going to leave again. I mean, if he does, he does. You know, maybe Braun Strowman can get the title back, and I can be all excited. Then Roman can come back and take the title off of him and piss me off again. Roman can do what Roman does. But I don't think he's going to go anywhere. I think they're just going to figure it out.
At this point in time, I don't think he'd leave either. I just thought of that interesting. point. And before we do sign off, who you got? Team Pat or the Undisputed Era at Wargames?
Team Pat. I got the Kings of NXT. Team Pat all day. How you doing? Keep it moving.
I'd hit a little, like a button, like an upset alert button. Team, man, I gotta go Undisputed Era because I don't think they've won that many matches at Wargames, and this is their 4th one.
Yeah, but you got Pat McAfee.
I can't wait. Wargames is one of my favorite things ever. That is.
It's not Wargames. It's Wargames.
Impersonation. I cannot wait. That is going to be a good wrestling week in December because me personally, I don't know about you, I actually hate December wrestling because I'm personally just waiting for December to be over so that we can get to like Wrestle Kingdom, Royal Rumble in January. So having those 2 big things with AEW and Wargames right at the beginning of December is going to hold my attention because you know me.
And we'll have TLC.
Yeah, but I hope TLC will be all right. But you know, it's WWE, and I hate the annual Christmas episode where they waste everything, like the food and the presents. I hate that. Like, let's get off of that. But that's neither here nor there. Jacob, my man, it looks like we are reaching the end. You got anything else you want to say before we sign out?
I got nothing else, I figured the next one we'll be talking about Wargames and everything else. So lots of exciting stuff going to be, coming up, and it's gonna be good times. As always, thanks for having me on. No
problem. We hit on a lot of stuff. We hit on Survivor Series, Undertaker, Zelina Vega, AEW, New Pro Japan. We hit on a lot of stuff in this time because there's a lot of things that happen in the wrestling world in 2 weeks, and you would never know until you listen to the L7C podcast. And I'll even say it for him because he forgot to plug himself. Jacob's still king right now, still has the #1 podcast episode right now. People are trying to catch him, but he's still #1, still holds 2 out of the top 5, but like 4 out of the top 10 episodes. You people dig wrestling, so just keep telling your friends about us that they can expect a wrestling episode every 2 weeks. We've not missed one yet. So tell your friends about us to like, rate, comment, subscribe. Jacob's a great promoter. I mean, he's a wrestling fan, so why would he not be a promoter? So keep giving the support, and we really love it, man. We really appreciate it, and we love talking wrestling.
Yeah, thank you to everyone who listens. Thanks to Justin for editing these because ours always falls apart multiple times an episode. But thanks, Justin. Appreciate it, buddy. And Martin, have a happy Thanksgiving, Jacob. Buddy.
You as well. You and the wife at your lovely home, and everyone else have a happy Thanksgiving. Thank you guys for listening to the L7C podcast, and we'll be talking to you guys soon. Thank you for listening to this episode of the L7C podcast. Be sure to like, rate, review, and subscribe to the channel. Follow us on all social media platforms, and we'll be talking to you guys soon. Take care.